right, fool? Shit. Let it be known then. Circle tight, little.
Are you a living legend?
It's not for me to say. That's for other people to say. I don't know. Probably not.
I remember going out to Cali, early 2000s. I met some guys that were coming back and forth, and I ended up going hanging out with them all the time. And I seen you up everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I seen you up. I think the first place they took me though was Belmont. I went to Belmont, and I was like, wow, Belmont. Like they're like, yeah, Colors was right here, and da 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 da. I think Saber had like the roller, like inside the tunnel.
Yeah.
And the tunnel, you're like actually weren't allowed to paint, right? Like the tunnel was like actually you could get in trouble there, but you couldn't get in trouble for hitting up the house. You know what I'm talking
I don't remember the politics. I just remember about Belmont. They were like, be careful because the Headhunters gang is over there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to meet anybody from a gang called Headhunters, dude. That's fucking. Doesn't that sound crazy? Like, I don't know, man. I mean, I didn't grow up around that kind of stuff, so I was just like.
That was always the worst part about yards is like, oh, that hood is there, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially in the 90s, like. I don't know how old. I can't tell how old people are.
Yeah, I was like
Were you around
late
in the
90s,
90s?
early 2000s.
So like mid 90s is when the green light on taggers got put out, and that was some sketchy shit.
Right.
We're out there like you're getting chased.
What was the reason behind that?
Fools tagging in Fool's neighborhood.
Well, so I'll tell it how I heard it, and like just full transparency. Like I might not have all the facts accurate, so like this is how I remember it. The Mexican mafia put down an order to all the gangs under their control to pretty much take out any taggers that they see, because I guess they were sick of like us tagging in their neighborhoods or something. That's what I understood. Like I have no inside knowledge or anything. That's just. But when we started hearing that, we started getting chased out of neighborhoods.
I mean, that
all
makes
the time.
sense. I think it was. I mean, because they probably wanted, hey, there's not gonna be no tagging. You're gonna come to the neighborhood, basically.
Well, and I think it was like because in the mid '90s too, like comparative to now, like there's way more graph now than there was then. But like there was a explosion of graph in the mid '90s. So like back to like the whole toy stuff, like a lot of us didn't, and I put myself in that same category because I didn't really know the ropes. Like I was fortunate to get schooled by some older, not even older. Like my first mentor was younger than me, but he was like in the game longer than me. But like,
when did you start? When did you start?
I started in '91.
Was that high school for you? Was that middle school?
Yeah, I was in high school.
Oh, but he already had like an older brother or something.
Well, so 91 to 93, I just kind of didn't know what the fuck was going on. Like I was just, you know.
Did you always write bus?
No, I wrote a bunch of other shit.
What was your first graph name?
My first graph name was Cheese. I wrote Cheese, yeah. Because I was, like, when I was in high school and I started seeing it, I started writing Cheese to make fun of graph writers because I was like a metalhead punk rocker type of dude. And I'm like, look at these fucking people writing on walls. I'm going to write Cheese. And then I started doing that, and like pretty quickly I was like, man, I kind of like doing this. I kind of like writing on walls. So then
it became addicted, huh?
Yeah, fuck yeah, real quick.
It is. Like I don't think people realize that. It's really addictive because once you start, you go over here, go to the store, you wrote your name 2-3 times, and then like you're in the car with your mom and you're like, damn, oh man, yeah, I'm up, man, I'm up. and you know, and some people probably ride that wave like short. A lot of people ride it short time, and you know, staying in this game, longevity is probably really. I mean, shit, 91, bro. What was I doing in 91? What were you doing in 91? In your diapers?
I was in Long Beach in the Carmelito projects.
Yes,
running around.
91, I lived on Casino Center and Gas, right there. Yeah, so I was rollerblading around downtown. That's what I was doing.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, because I didn't start. I started tagging more like 97. That's around when I started like, whoa, what's that? I think I said
I
before.
think
Like,
me too.
yeah, around that time.
97, yeah.
Well, I would see like the cholo spider webs and lowrider cars and the block letters, and then but I didn't know about graffiti like that. And then I just like one of my buddy's brothers, he kind of had like some like hand styles, and then like I was like, all right, that's cool. And then like I met another dude that kind of had some stuff, and I'm like, all right. And then it's from there,
Yeah.
and we use the upside down cans from the construction sites.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right on the ground.
Well, we would just be on the wall like.
Yeah.
You know, like
the lower flare type of shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
yeah. So
Who were some of the like OGs or your mentors that you were seeing coming up when you started doing graffiti?
Well, like there was a lot of people. I mean, a lot of the STPs I really liked, like Pale and Panic, Jess, Tulse, of course. Rest in peace. And then really, the first people I really was looking at really hard was what would have become the original MSK members. They were in a crew called AD, and it was Gank, Gone, Fade, Havoc, Saber. They were all
AD.
yeah, AD.
I didn't know.
Yeah, so that crew they were out. I was seeing them all over the place because like they used to come out because I was born in the valley. I lived there for a while, and then I mainly ended up moving to the suburbs. My parents moved us to the suburbs, and then somehow
Is like San Fernando Valley?
yeah,
Isn't that suburbs? Nah, I'm messing with you.
I guess it is. I mean, it kind of is, but
I'm just messing
I
with
moved outside of there, but so those guys were coming out there too. So it was like mainly kind of like the I can't remember the different names of the valley cities, but it's like there's a point where the valley turns into Ventura County, and
Oxnard, Ventura County.
yeah,
that's what you're
so
saying?
yeah, so the that's I don't know I don't remember what that fucking part of the valley was called, but it was kind of like the very beginning of LA County, and they were riding a lot right there and in North Hollywood and in Hollywood area, so I would see them up a lot, and then they would actually knew some of the people that I knew, so that's how I kind of started meeting them.
Right.
But I looked up to those guys first, and then they ended up like disbanding AD, and then they moved over to MSK. And that was when MSK really first started, and then I got in it like a few months after that happened.
Was MSK? I mean, is Saber the head of MSK?
No, GK is the head of MSK. Right
GK is the head.
But Eclipse is the one that really
Kind of like took the reins and said, "Hey guys, this is how we're gonna do
he's
this."
the one that like put it all together, and he's like GK's the official leader. He's running the shit, but like if there was like a chain of command, like he would probably answer to Eclipse, I guess.
Gotcha.
You know.
Console with him.
Yeah.
Where does AWR come in?
So that's the thing about MSK was connected to AWR in the beginning. They still are. I mean, they're still connected. I don't know how much detail I need to get into, but it was like MSK was sort of considered as a sort of a stepping stone to AWR
Right.
back in the early days.
Right, you had to go here like, oh, okay, hey, that dude's getting pretty dope. He's getting up, but we got to put him on. He's only got his rocker. He doesn't got his three.
I mean, I think that's kind of what it was. I mean, I never really asked a lot of questions about like specifically like what it was all about, but obviously, like if you look at how things progressed, like MSK obviously ended up becoming kind of like something of its own.
Yeah.
You know. But in the beginning, that's kind of what it was. It was like when I first got in MSK, it was like nobody really knew who MSK was. They knew who AWR was.
Oh, okay.
You know, AWR was more established.
Right. Yeah, I think I do think so. Like some of the magazines that I had, I do think I seen it. When you say it like that now, I can see like seeing more presence of that.
Yeah, any magazines that you saw from like 92 and earlier, it would have been AWR. You wouldn't have seen any MSK stuff.
All right, so I mean, you're already an old school cat, and I mean, not. I mean, oh well, you said your mentor was kind of younger than you already. Uh, how do I want to say this? Because I kind of asked it that way. Okay, who was when you like kind of first started? Like, who was the dopest you thought? Just all city, all whatnot, and then right now, like if you go back home, who do you think's really killing it, and in that fashion?
So back then, some people that come to mind, Euler, Decline, those dudes were like,
Euler.
Euler was getting on. Yeah.
they were fucking like. I saw them as like these supernatural beings, you know what I mean? Like you ever think about it like that? Like you almost like don't even want to like meet them because you're like, I don't want it to crush that sort of like,
Oh yeah.
because it's just like shit just shows up and you're like, holy shit, like that. The Euler and Decline were those guys. Like there was a lot of people like, there was a dude Sacred Rock 125, a lot of those like bomber
Ayer.
type dudes, Ayer, yeah. But and then. Like I said, the STPs, like Pale, was probably one of my favorite writers. He was doing a lot of really big pieces on the side of freeways and shit, so I was seeing a lot of that stuff. And
I didn't even realize they went back that far.
STPs,
I was
Yeah,
thinking
that's
the
yeah,
same
they go
thing.
back to
Same
'88, I
thing.
think.
Damn, that's it.
Yeah.
Because
We're
they're
like
still
a-
active right now. Like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fucking super active.
Yeah, they killed downtown right like
Yeah.
right the freeway spot right downtown. Like we were getting off and on, like dang, this is all right here. There's bam, bam, bam. They got like 5 of them right next to each other.
Right.
Like, you got one there, you got one there, and I got one there. Shout out to
But as far
SCP.
as like now, I don't know. I have a hard time with now like current stuff
Do
because
you-
like there's so much.
Roche,
so much going on and, like-
there's
Right,
like
right.
Roche, Dosable, fucking merch. Like these fools are all kind of killing right now.
Yeah,
I think
merch.
like OCP doesn't get a lot of credit. They kind of like killed the whole map, and I don't think really people kind of point them out like that.
Yeah,
they're the most known unknown.
Right.
Got you.
Yeah, I would.
What
agree
about
with that.
okay?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a Vegas head, so I gotta ask. You've been out here a few years, you know. Anybody that's on your radar that you're like, man, that dude's pretty dope, or he gets up, or
Fuck. you're putting
it
me on
just
the
blows
spot.
your mind, huh? Because you're just like, you're like so in your world, man. Like they gotta really stand out, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it's not so much like I don't want to sound like I don't care about it because I do, but it's like it's easy for me to talk about when I was active because graph was my whole existence. Like that's all I cared about.
Yeah.
I'd wake up in the morning, I'd be drawing on shit, and I'd be
Right.
GK and I would walk down train tracks and paint all day and then go bombing. You know what I mean? So it was like it's easy to recall all those names.
Got you.
But now like my focus is a lot more on other shit like business,
we gotta answer
podcasting.
emails. We gotta
Yeah, so it's like it's hard for me to retain the information like I used to, but it's like I like what I see. It just doesn't. It's,
no, I
like,
understand.
I don't want to sound like I don't
understand
care, you know,
completely.
because I really do. But it's just like my the stuff that occupies my memory is like different shit now, you know.
Yeah.
But I want to give back to the graph culture, but as far as like who's doing what is not as important to me as it used to be, you know.
If you could give back more, what would you do?
Well, what I'm trying to do is build like my company up to the point where we can have all kinds of resources for the graffiti community. So like I really want the company to turn into this thing where there's like a spot where people can go and they can black book, and then there's a yard they can paint, and there's all this different kinds of shit,
Right,
education and all this sort of stuff. Like that's really what I'm passionate about right now. I mean,
Do
I
you think
still
that-
want to
do you
go
think
out
some
and paint
stuff
too.
is,
you know?
Is some stuff kind of setting out on some stuff versus other stuff?
What-
You know, like I mean, I think my older mindset or younger mindset, so to speak, is like I was just like, no, it's like graph, it's bomb, like nah, forget that piece over there, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like we'll go over that, we don't even care, like just because it was just like mob want to catch these hot boy spots, and but now it's not, you know, it's a lot I don't know, the game it changes as you get older, and like now I'm like, okay, I'll teach this dude how to do it. I want to give him some information. Hey, don't use that tip, or have you tried this can, or you know, like I want to give that information out.
Yeah.
But like it's like, I did tattoos for a while, and back in the day, like you can't just pick up a tattoo gun and start tattooing away.
Yeah, you're fuck somebody's whole shit up. Like
Well,
they gotta
not
have
only
that
that,
forever,
but,
man.
but I'm just saying like, they're called scratchers.
Yeah,
Scratcher is like
I've
a
heard that
toy and
term,
shit.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent, guys. Don't be a scratcher.
But I like that kind of graph like that you're talking about. Like the bombing is what I like the best still.
Ooh, I like that.
still like that fucking anytime like a building shuts down, it's like you kind of you're like, all right, it's about to go down.
Here we go.
And you start seeing like, and you know, my girlfriend is always like, why don't you just do it? Because I'm like, that building's shut down, man. I should go catch a throwy right there.
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, there's no fucking room anymore
Oh, shit.
because I slept on
Yeah.
it. Because I just don't. I haven't really broke the seal. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you take a lot of time away from.
And you're like in a, not that it's foreign to you, but like you know, you're like, I don't know how they're gonna react or something.
It's not the same as it was
Right.
before. Yeah, you don't have that. I don't have that invincibility, where I used to just fucking be out there.
You're like,
by
I'm
myself,
tagging over
like-
whatever I want, huh?
No, I wasn't like that, but I just in terms of like, just, you know, on a hot spot doing a fill in, and you're like, the chances of me getting caught are pretty slim. I'll just run and all this shit. Like you had this mindset to where you didn't think anything bad was going to happen. You're not going to
Right,
get shot.
right.
You're not going to. Nowadays, I'm like the opposite. Like all the shit that could go wrong is what's in my head.
Flooding your head, huh?
Yeah, so I don't think. I'm sure if I went out and like caught a fill in
Break the
somewhere,
ice
it
a
wouldn't be
little bit more and
yeah.
stuff. I was gonna catch a spot right over here, and
Allegedly.
yeah, allegedly. Well, that wall, you know.
Allegedly, it's gonna catch a spot.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, right? I had the paint, but I didn't pull it out.
Conspiracy to paint, huh?
Right, conspiracy of paint, man. Just because I had it, and I got off my bike, and they were like, we got you. I actually I had to use the restroom, so I kind of pulled to the side, and I was like, man, they already kind of caught this side, so let me catch this side. And there's like this some tractor thing or whatever they got over there, and like I do what I got to do, and I look to the side, and I'm watching, and I believe he was like in a little remote, the little wheelchairs, that like electric wheelchair,
Yeah.
because he had a cigarette and I could like see the ember, but he didn't like try to conceal it, but he never puffed on it, but I could see it. I'm like, no, I'm sure. So I go to my basket, start pulling out my cans and stuff, and I sit down and I'm watching it. I'm like, is that something? I don't want to go expose myself.
Right.
But then as soon as I get up and just, shh, hey man, get off my walls. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, bro, it's already painted on, man. What are you tripping on? You know what I mean? They're gonna tear it down. And then, so I just sat there again. I just sat there for a couple more minutes, and then I said, man, forget this guy. I started to go.
Yeah.
And as soon as I really started to go, I seen him. He buzzed off.
Oh man.
I was like, oh shit, all right. I guess he's serious.
You got any mission stories that stand out in your head? Talk about that you could talk about or anything? Missions, or I don't know, something that you were like, oh yeah, that day I killed it. You know?
Yeah, I mean it all doesn't. They all kind of.
He's a mobber. Bus is a mobber though.
No, that was my favorite shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to very much prefer that kind of graph, like illegal street stuff. I mean, there was a period of, I don't know, 3 months or something. I've always been a pretty responsible guy, so like I always had a job. I was always on time. I never missed work and that kind of stuff. But at one point they laid me off, and so I was like, I got unemployment. It was like just enough, you know, like I could afford like a Taco Bell burrito every day and like to pay my bills and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, man,
The
I
same
could just
burrito, huh?
yeah, the same fucking 7-layer burrito. Yeah. Yeah, and so like I was like, I'm just gonna not work for a while. Like this was like 94 or 95. And I just was I was bombing downtown LA every single night. Like, was that, I don't know, downtown LA was always like, the first time I ever drove down there, I was like, this is what I feel like real graffiti is. Like out for LA, I mean, obviously like If you were in New York, maybe you have a different perception. But like real street graph, like that's where I wanted to be. So as far as like specific missions, I mean, they all kind of blend together, but it was just sort of like I just wanted to be up down there.
I really think, man, that the more and more I think about it, it's like once you start doing like those pieces and those murals and the productions, that is dope. But it's really about that itch, man. Like we're going.
It's not the same to me. I mean, I do pieces. Obviously, I mean, I like doing that, but like a throwy with like a. I called it a ghost fill, and everybody was talking shit. They were saying it's a dusty. I'm like, I don't know. I always called it a ghost fill.
Is it a dusty?
I remember ghost fill.
Yeah,
or is it a ghost fill?
Yeah, I'm still gonna call it ghost fill. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
but,
man.
But that shit's my favorite, man.
I call it a ghost fill too.
Do you?
Because it's just so it's like the lines
It
aren't.
looks like a ghost. Man.
Yeah,
it's
you
all
know what I
glowy
mean?
and shit.
Yeah.
It's the overspray. I mean,
all of that. Because it doesn't matter. That was my philosophy. Like some of the guys that I would paint with, like they would be there like an extra 30 minutes, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave you then, man. I'll be down there.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, they're like, oh man, he went and got another spot without us, like, you know. But I'm like, it doesn't matter how it looks when I'm filling it in, as long as that outline and 3D look good, we're golden.
Yeah.
For me, you know what I mean. And then plus, you're not like up on it like this, like, oh look, he messed up right there.
Yeah, it's not how you're gonna see it.
You're gonna see it for like
Driving
2 seconds
by,
driving
yeah.
by. So, yeah, definitely.
And I like that too. Like when the cap is way fatter than the outline, and so when you go to outline, the fill is like outside of the outline.
Oh, I know
you know
what
what I
you're
mean?
saying.
Like
I know what you're saying.
It doesn't hit exact.
You did.
I like that shit.
So you like did your is your process of doing a throwy, so to speak? Is it outline, then fill, then outline, or sketch, fill, outline?
Yeah. So I mean, like you'll outline it with like an Astro or whatever, and then fill in that outline. It's like, say if it's white, you do the white outline, fill it in, and then the black.
Wherever it overhung.
Yeah.
Right.
But in the 90s, there was a lot of, especially when I was doing a lot of downtown stuff, there was a lot of virgin walls. And so, like, I haven't painted a virgin wall, like, probably since then, because, like, everything's hit. But back then,
Man,
I used to, because even with so you'd hit it with the silver, because, like, black and silver was the shit for that.
You
and
would
you
do a
hit it
silver.
with the
You
silver
would
and
do
then
a black fill with a silver outline.
No, I'd do a silver fill. I mean, that would work, but the silver is kind of dusty, you know.
Right.
But the black would just get sucked in to the silver and the virgin wall. So I used to, I used to do the black outline and then carefully, you know, fill in the inside, like outline on the inside with the silver.
So
the
pores
black
are
was
already
still
like,
there.
yeah, yeah.
And then I would go back over with the black, so that the black outline popped, and then. That fucking 90s Osh paint had like such a clean silver that you could border your throwaway with the silver, and it wouldn't. Yeah, it was
because
clean.
the silver is always like, it always has like a
like
major
a
overspray.
Yeah, but this Osh shit, it didn't have that.
What is it called? OSH?
Osh, yeah, Osh, like garden supply or something.
I used to use touch and tone at the time.
Yeah, touch and tone was good.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a.
But that shit
that's
is
a Kmart
fucking super dusty, man. Like that silver is like.
Well, it was just we were able to rack at the time. You know?
Yeah. Or if you had to buy it, it was $1, right?
Yeah.
Touch and tone was like, or was touch and tone $1? It was
touch and tone
dollar
were $1.
cans, right?
Yeah, I think the touchy tone. We call them the Dutches or Dutch boys, I think.
Yeah.
They
Those
have
are
that,
usually for fill.
They would have that red tip on it, right?
Yeah.
It was like a female tip, though, right? Wasn't it?
No,
I think it was regular. Yeah,
yeah.
it was just red.
Yeah, the red tip.
with the
There's
white.
that red tip,
Right.
but I'm talking about like the longer red tip. That's a calligraphy tip, and it's a female.
Oh, on the Krylons?
No, it's an older can. It's not those cans, because I mean that Krylon, that Rusto, those look.
Shorty's looking for you, Jim. Stunner for Issa. She said,
$100
"What, Jim, man?"
germ. It had like that flap top, and it's red, and then you could turn the square because it was a calligraphy tip.
Oh, yeah? I don't remember which ones those were.
I mean that.
I remember that like after like now they kind of have those type of tips, but back
Well, it's just yeah, I can't remember. It's like kind of like that. Because the other tips are like that,
then.
and then if you get like on the Russos, like our stock 94 tips, kind of like that. But this one was like longer. It was just longer, and at the top had like kind of like a little flapper, and then you could twist that square piece, and it would either go this way, and I would turn it so it would be like old English,
like a 45-degree.
Yep. Yeah, 45 for sure.
I preferred like rollers at the time back then. We couldn't get
In the
paint,
90s?
just rollers. Yeah, just get the biggest paint bucket I could get. Fucking.
Yeah, it was crazy. The rollers weren't as big back then too, so it was like.
Remember Ween?
What's that?
Ween.
What's
I
that?
think that's what his name was. WEEN. He was like a dude that was killing. With
Oh
rollers
yeah.
For a while, you know. Before like Hope and all that, like he was kind of like one of the dudes that was.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit! I noticed. That's what I noticed was him.
And it's hard to it's hard to get up over there like that. At least being known over here and over here and then over here, and you know what I mean.
And then I remember like I think Rhyme, and I don't know if it was Rhyme and somebody else. They had it's like where the 5 merges into the 10 and all that, and it goes towards like downtown. They had like this rooftop that was always rocking. It was like a yellow and white, or white and yellow.
I think I know what you're talking
piece,
about.
You know, and they had it rocking there, and that would have always stood out to me because it still was there so long.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I remember years went by and it was still there, and I was like, oh shit, like that Rhyme, you know. And I didn't realize that he was like a, you know, someone at that caliber at the time.
Yeah.
It was just like East Coast though, isn't he?
Yeah, New Jersey, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally tell.
He's got that accent.
Yeah. I think Rhyme's got the mall at the state line.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that's Sofres that's got No, I don't think it's Sofres. I think it might be Rhyme. It's that girl's face. Like as we're driving by heading towards California, you gotta kind of pass a little bit and then like it's more of a look back.
Yeah.
But there's a big girl's face right there. I think Rhyme did. I think he did.
Yeah, I think.
And you go inside, there's some stuff inside, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. Do you know what's his name? Worth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know him before you came out here?
No.
No.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know him before. I didn't actually meet him until he got put on MSK. Yeah, he was. I was seeing him up. Like I would go to the wheel and shit like that. And he was always up there, and I saw he was putting up 7th Letter, but I didn't actually meet him until we just had that MSK meeting we just had a few months ago. That was the first time I met him, but we talked on Instagram.
Hey,
so
what's up? Yeah.
it's
How was the
interesting
meeting?
how
What did anybody get a hot one or anything?
Yeah, a bunch of people caught. You're talking about maybe I don't know the terms you're using. Catch a spot or actually fight each other.
You know, one of the homies was messing up. He did something wrong, so you guys gotta give him a hot one.
Oh no. I think we're too old for that shit. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Hey,
that's BTS, though.
Right?
BTS.
All right. Hey, I just want to give you a time check, man. For me right now, it says 7:45.
I can stick around for a bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Just a heads up, so you know, because I know you had to do some. We're actually. Were you telling them? We're gonna go. Are you gonna go? I mean, I'm gonna go. Gold Spike. Have you heard of ISI?
Yeah, I've talked to them. I've worked with them.
Okay.
We did some pop-up shit at their First Friday.
Okay, so First Friday, yeah, they're at the booth over this way.
Yeah, they had a.
Yeah, it's right there. Dana and Black and them, they're always over there. Man, Black and Worth just hit like I think they hit one of these rooftops over here.
Oh really?
Yeah, but they hit the top, and it's like I think there's I think it's an MSK on the top. Yeah.
I don't know if I saw that.
Yeah, it's on the top of one of those buildings right here.
Oh shit,
Yeah,
that's cool.
I hit a Black. I'm like, thanks for the invite, man.
Yeah.
He got back to me like 3 days later, and he was like, "Oh man, my bad." But I like Black. Black's tight, man.
He's a good dude for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of knowledge. I like his laid back alchemy kind of persona. He's got his hat. He's like,
Yeah.
what's the guy's name from Mortal Kombat? Kung Lao.
I don't remember his name.
You didn't play Mortal Kombat?
I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember that character's name.
Jerm, what's his name?
Jerm.
The one with the hat.
Kung Lao.
Yes, you're right. But that's like more like the.
No, but that was like the cowboy one that you're talking about, right?
Yeah, it's like a cowboy.
Luke Kang.
No, Liu Kang's brother is Kung Lao, right?
Anyways.
Anyways, y'all don't know about Liu Kang. I need to know, man. No, it's Kung Lao. The guy has a blade on his hat. Kung Lao on his hat. Anyways, all right, let's go left with it, man. Let's go left. What's up with these damn mosquitoes, man? Did you guys? I got bit even like more, bro. Torture.
I didn't get bit.
Well, yeah, you're in the car, dog. We're mobbing, you know what I mean? Like,
It's like they sucked all the nutrients out of me and they finally quit biting.
right?
But
Whoa,
even,
whoa, whoa, whoa.
what I noticed is the flies. It's been like, it seems like there's been hella flies popping out everywhere. I don't know
I think
if
it's
just,
because, like, do you think it's because some conspiracy shit, or because like there was a ton of water?
I think it's because of the water, the fly stuff, yeah.
Yeah, the water.
But if we're gonna go down that route, I feel like all the water comes from a conspiracy, and I don't. Well, you'll probably
like
notice
the
it's
weather
not
manipulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So check this. Now that I'm bringing it up to you. If you notice, every time there's this big storm or anything, like, you know, it's dark, rainy weather, pay attention to that side where the air base is at, and it's always over there. Like, over there, for some reason, it's super dark, super rainy, and I feel like they started over there, and it just kind of like...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, that's a conspiracy in my head, but every time I notice, I'm like, why is it always coming from over there? And I feel
What
like...
do you mean, like the clouds? Or?
Yeah, everything, like that. And I feel like they're charging up the spaceships. They got to use the thunder and shit. To charge up the UFOs, you know, like.
Well, you know, that would be northeast, which is going inland more. You know what I'm saying?
But then after the knowledgeable thing about that is because that's like the desert area where that's why the storm started over there, right? Because you know when you drive to like Laughlin and all that, that's like where it's super dead, you know.
What like the rain and stuff, or what are we saying?
Yeah, I think it's easier for the weather to build up on that side. Not necessarily that it's a conspiracy because this is that.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
know,
Well, I think a lot of times, a lot of the weather comes from, because we're so close to the coast.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of water or rain or anything is going to be coming from the coast. And then it heads like eastern.
Right.
But we're in a valley, so by the time it gets to where the mountains are higher up, it just dumps it all anyways. And then by the time it gets to us, it's rained more times this summer than I can remember in the past 10, 15 years. Like, it's a lot of rain, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think they brought them here on the little Connexes when they were shipping them over. They just had one in there and they're like, fly free. And then just, you know, because I seen them, they're like this big, bro. It was crazy that feed popped up, and I sent it to you.
Yeah.
And then like later on that day, it was just like, yeah.
Right.
Smacking my arms. I'm still messing with me, bro. Like, it fucking sucks.
That's it, dog. You got the vaccine all up in you. You are fully vaccinated.
Hey, the dating apps go, would you mind a girl that has that's vaccinated?
Oh shit.
Is that on there?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I seen it a long time ago. Like, I mean, that's a crazy argument. Like, did you get the vaccine? You're like, what's up, girl? How you doing? But did you get the vaccine?
Isn't that weird that we're in that?
In that phase?
Well, like, that's never happened. Have you ever, in your lifetime, have you ever seen any kind of conversation like this?
No.
Like we've
AIDS,
had,
I guess. Oh,
What's
not
that?
like that. No, I was gonna say just AIDS, but I was thinking like an illness.
but like the division of like, should
Yeah.
you,
It's weird.
the
It's
hate
crazy.
back and forth? Like, I've never seen anything like this in my life. Like,
Yeah, you got 10 on me, bro, and I like. Hey, I'm all about the the resistance, but like even the gender role stuff. It's like why are we talking about it?
I think it's because social media, though. We didn't have social media and access to
Yeah.
so many opinions back then. You know what I mean?
got you.
As
Right.
opposed to now, where you could find anybody's fucking opinion online. You know.
so
You
many
can find
places.
anybody's 2 cents at the official 2 Cents podcast. You know what I mean?
You know what's
You are a toy!